The flowering of regional cultures.
The cultural heritage of India is the cumulative effect of developments
that have taken place over thousands of years. India has seen many ups and downs in her social, economic, cultural, and political life. People preserved their ideas in the form of books and expressed their creativity through monuments. All this activity coalesced into the cultural heritage of India and added to its glory. The flowering of regional cultures. Another characteristic of India's culture has been that it was never rigid. Tolerant and compassionate, it absorbed wave after wave of invaders and drew them into its fold, ever-changing yet essentially Indian, a triumph of adaptation and assimilation. This process of change and development is a continual one. It is said that change is the only constant. Human society is another name for an endless process of constant evolution. Many aspects of culture get discarded, others get modified, and some just manage to survive. New elements are constantly added to the whole. The flowering of regional cultures. A remarkable characteristic of Indian historical and cultural development, therefore, has been its continuity. This continuity has few parallels in the history of human civilization. For example, some elements of the Harappan culture continue to exist to this day in the form of nature worship, etc. Regions and religious traditions. This period was also important from the point of view of growth of modern Indian languages, architecture, sculpture, literature, and philosophy. One of the trends towards cultural unity is associated with the name of the philosopher Shankaracharya, who set up his mutts or monasteries in different parts of the country. In the south, the Bhakti cult had originated with the Alvars and Nayanars. It was in this period that India had its first contact with the then new religion of Islam. As a result, people's lives were deeply influenced by the admixture of the old and rich Persian culture. This period also saw the introduction of new features in the art and architecture of India. The architecture that developed during this period was basically a synthesis of the traditions of Central Asia and Persia with the pre-existing Indian styles. In addition to this, many regional cultures grew around religious traditions such as cult of Jagannath at Puri, Orissa. To date, in Rath Yatra, the wooden image of deity is made by local people, which suggests that the deity was originally a local god, who was later identified with Vishnu. In a similar way, Bangla Dome developed in the temple architecture in Bengal. In the literary field, modern Indian languages became major vehicles of literature. Many regional languages were enriched by the Bhakti saints. Two new languages, Arabic and Persian, became a part of India's linguistic heritage. In many areas, they replaced Sanskrit as the court language. Under the influence of Persian, new literary styles also emerged. The fresco, wall painting, as an art form, gradually died out, but miniature paintings continued, particularly in Jain texts. Miniatures are small-sized paintings generally done in watercolor on cloth or paper. The Jain monks of Western India and the Buddhist monks of Nepal and Eastern India were especially fond of illustrating their manuscripts with miniature paintings. Each picture was a finely crafted piece of art. The Rajput painting style developed its own characteristics in later times. The paintings of the Rajput period were confined to episodes from the epics and the legends surrounding Lord Krishna. Mughals patronized painters and artists, all of whom used a mixture of Indian and Persian styles. These painters mostly added miniature paintings to the books in the emperor's library. They also painted scenes from legends and stories of India and Persia, such as Krishna and Radha and Laila and Majnu. Scenes from Akbar's life and his court were a favorite and recurring theme. The Mughal style of painting declined after Shah Jahan's reign. Thereafter, artists moved to provincial capitals. Here, the art of painting continued to flourish in the form of a variety of schools such as the Deccan School, the Rajput School, and the Kangra or Pahari School. Rajasthani paintings. The origin of Rajasthani paintings date back to the early 16th century. Rajasthani painting is generally found in three forms: court painting, literary painting, and folk painting. The development of paintings in India. Rajasthani paintings. Depending on regional variations, Rajasthani painting is further divided into four distinct styles: Mewar style, Marwar style, Kishangarh style, and Bundi Kota style. All these four styles developed during the reigns of Sisodia, Kachchavaha Rathore, and Hara rulers respectively. Mewar painting. Mewar painting first gained recognition with the Ragamala paintings done in 1605, the year of Akbar's death, in Mewar. These paintings portray childhood incidents of Krishna and his frolic with the gopis, the hero-heroine themes of Hindi poetry, and pictorial representations of the Indian musical nodes. Scenes from the Bhagavata and the Ramayana are depicted beautifully on a wider canvas. Scenes from rural life, marriage ceremonies, processions, dance and music parties, and court scenes are depicted with sensitivity and compassion. Especially striking are paintings depicting nature, dense foliage, rivers full of lotuses, and raindrops falling from deep blue clouds, shot through with streaks of golden lightning. This school of painting continued up to the close of the 17th century. The important centers were Chittor, Udaipur, Nathwara, Devgarh, Sirohi, etc. Departing from the typically stylized Mughal trends, this school developed its own style of pictorial art. Jodhpur represents one of the principal seats of the Mewar school. The most important Jodhpur paintings are equestrian portraits of the royal house and the nobility. Jodhpur and Nagpur paintings show very bold expressions with broad fish eyes in human faces and highly stylized trees. The important centers of Marwar painting were Bikaner, Jodhpur, Kishangarh, Jaisalmer, etc. By the 18th century, the art of Rajasthani painting had spread to most of the princely courts within Rajasthan. Kishangarh, Jaipur, Bundi, Bikaner, and Kota thus became the new centers of the Rajasthani school. Kishangarh painting. It developed into a very important school of Rajasthani painting in the 18th century. Raja Sammat Singh was the chief patron of this school. Nihal Singh was the most important court painter. The most popular subject of these paintings was the Krishna-Radha alliance. Bundi Kota painting. The kingdoms of Bundi and Kota in Rajasthan developed an interesting painting style. These paintings began to concentrate on court scenes under Rao Chatarsal and Bhau Singh. Many scenes of nobles, lovers, and ladies at court were produced throughout the 17th and 18th century. Kota became famous for excellent hunting scenes, but court paintings continued to hold center stage. Rao Ram Singh too, 1827 to 1865, was a great patron of this school. He commissioned finely detailed scenes of worship as well as those of hunting, court scenes, and processional scenes. Pahari paintings. These paintings came from small Hindu kingdoms in the Punjab hills. Most of these tiny kingdoms, ruled by Rajput families of Basali, Chamba, Guler, Jammu, Nurpur, Kullu, Garhwal, Kangra, etc., were surrounded by snow-clad mountains. Inspired by love, the main theme of these paintings is the boyhood pranks of Krishna, his cowherd companions, and his amorous frolics with Radha, which symbolize the devotion of man for divinity. Folk paintings. Folk paintings include the Madhubani style that originated in Bihar and which has enchanted the world ever since. The Worli school of Maharashtra, the Pata of Orissa, floor paintings such as Rangoli in Maharashtra, Rangavali in Karnataka, Kolam in Tamil Nadu, Mandana in Madhya Pradesh, Alpana in West Bengal, and Aipana in Uttarakhand are quite beautiful. The development of paintings in India. As in architecture, India also had a rich heritage in the field of paintings. The most creative period in painting extends from the 1st to the 7th centuries of the Christian era. Of this, the Ajanta paintings stand out as the most vibrant and innovative. The beautiful frescoes, wall paintings in the Ajanta and Ellora caves in Maharashtra indicate that paintings had reached a sublime level. The Ajanta paintings cover a variety of themes. Some depict the pomp and splendor of the royal courts, romance, feasting, singing and dancing, and even luxurious products, buildings, textiles and jewelry. Other frescoes depict the world of nature, vegetation, flowers, animals and birds. Many themes are related to the Buddha's life and the Jataka stories. In northern India, the frescoes at Bagh in Gwalior area in Madhya Pradesh are the best survivors. Most of the others of this genre are lost to us. Paintings continued to develop for some time in other parts of India, example at Badami, Kanchi and Ellora.